all right, you're willing to supply 7, or I'm sorry, I made this, let me make this 9. Sorry about that. All right, you're willing to supply 9, but the market only wants 5. That's a terrible 5, isn't it? All right, okay, and you're only willing, as a collection of buyers are only going to buy 5. So what you have is really a surplus of 4, right? You've got a surplus of 4. At $5, you're throwing 9 out onto the market, but you're only going to sell 5. Okay? Now, if that's the particular case, all right, you're clearly inefficient. You're clearly outside the range, all right? The surplus is really just excess supply. That's really all it is, all right? And now you're going to have some significant problems. You're going to have storage, insurance, distribution problems, might jeopardize your reputation, things like that. If you produced 9 thinking you're going to get $5 and you're only going to sell, right, 5 of those 4 left over are going to be discount goods. You're going to have to sell them at drastically low prices. It might hurt your reputation. You might have thought yourself as a luxury brand, but now you're a discount brand. All right, all those things are certainly possible. Okay, let's go with this shade of blue. Let's say this is, if we make that 3, let's just make this 2 for the heck of it. All right, so we'll call this P2. Say the price is at $2, right? Just for the heck of it. Okay. What we have now is a shortage, right? Look at that demand, right? I'm just trying to make this kind of easy math, so to speak, but the market actually wants 9, all right? But you're only selling 5, right? Because the price is $2. Okay? Now, what you certainly could do, right, is increase supply pretty quickly, right? But that might be somewhat costly. Okay. Now, again, if you get those extra units, again, say we have a spread of 4 down here. If you get those units out there on the market, you might be able to sell them for a higher price, all right? But again, you also may lose customers, right? Because you're not offering what the market wants. You may also give rise to a black market for those particular goods because, again, the market wants this amount, all right? You're only throwing out 5 out on the market. The black market, say, criminals, if you will, all right? They may go ahead and counterfeit goods and make, T-shirts or dress shirts or whatever, and make sure they're available. That type of thing. Okay. All right. Now, what I want to introduce to you, as we're right here in the middle, this middle part here, is the fact that very rarely are we actually in equilibrium. All right. So if you think the greater economy, think of all these millions and millions of types of goods and services, right? For any one goods or services market, we're very rarely in equilibrium. But we're always headed towards equilibrium. All right. Now I know that sounds kind of abstract, right? But very rarely are we actually in equilibrium, but there are forces pushing us towards equilibrium. And a lot of economists will say, well, I don't even know where equilibrium is. I just know we're headed in that particular direction. So let's use maybe green here to kind of show you. If we are here and we've got a surplus, right? The pressure towards equilibrium is going to come from, let's call it that northeast point. Okay? If we wind up here in a shortage, right, that pressure is going to come from the other direction. All right? It's going to come from, let's call it the southwest point, just to make things a little bit easier for us. Okay? So essentially, there's going to be pressure to get that. So a lot of times, all right, let's use orange just for the heck of it. We're always kind of like right around in here, something like that. All right, we're close to equilibrium. We're never quite there, but there are forces pushing us in that particular direction. Okay, now I've just said that we're very rarely in equilibrium. Sometimes we could be in gross disequilibrium, by the way. Price shocks, things like that. Crude oil, could be all sorts of things. Doesn't really matter, all right? But for the most part, we know we're not quite in equilibrium, but we're headed in that direction. Now, how quickly we get back to a balanced, stable point, right, depends on the market, the type of market for that particular good or that particular service, right? The good could be hamburgers, or the services could be accountancy services, right? What have you, plumbers, doesn't really matter. Okay, so the relationship that I want you to get down, we'll use this, this color, right, is that the more liquid the market, right, we're going to use speed, the faster we get to equilibrium. All right, so the more liquid this market, for whatever it is, all right, the quicker, all right, we get back to equilibrium. Now, classic example, the market for stocks, bonds, whatever, is very liquid. We're going to get back quickly, all right? The market for rare earths and a lot of commodities is not very liquid, even though agricultural products tend to be comprise a pretty organized market. All right, that takes a little more time. So again, this works the other way around, of course. Remember, we're doing lots of arrows in economics, right? As liquidity goes down, the speed by which we are restored to equilibrium gets much slower as well. Okay, now with that said, okay, you get an idea, right? You know what equilibrium is, you know where the balance is, right? You know what a shortage is, you know what a surplus is, you know where the pressure is going to come from, right? And a shortage kind of from the southwest and a surplus from the northeast. You know that rarely are we in equilibrium. Could be in gross disequilibrium, but we generally have forces getting back to those particular places. Okay, all right, so what we'll do is we're going to stop there, and we're going to go ahead and pick up with the 3 steps to analyzing changes in equilibrium when we get back on Friday. Thank you.